Yes, Headbangers Ball is coming to you from Birmingham, UK, and that video for Outshined heralds the arrival of tonight's very special guests all the way from Seattle. Soundgarden, Kim and Chris have joined me on Headbangers Ball, and welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you guys are winding up a European tour. How's that been working out for you?
Really awful, actually. No, it's been good. So all the shows have been sold out, and a lot of the fans seem to be really acquainted with our records, which is kind of different than the last few times we were here. Definitely different, but it's good.
Obviously, headlining is very different to what you were doing in the States, supporting Guns N' Roses in arenas, and we'll talk about that a little later on. And we've got lots of time to talk tonight because the band have joined me for pretty much the entire show, and I'd like to start really the obvious place, Seattle. Now, is there a Seattle sound, or do you think it's just that people are focusing their attention on the area because of bands like yourselves and Pearl Jam and Nirvana?
I think it's the second thing you said there.
Because Queensryche and War Babies and some of the other bands don't exactly fit into that
No, not really.
Well, Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden don't really fit into any particular style of music either. They're different from each other. So it is primarily the region that's getting attention more than anything else.
Right. And what part has the Sub Pop label played in developing the careers of local bands?
Well, it didn't really do anything for War Babies. I think they sort of gathered a few of the bands that were important to the urban scene at the time and gave them a label identity. Gave them kind of a name, I guess. Because before it was like the Seattle sound, or before it was like it had the label grunge or whatever. It was called the Sub Pop sound, and that was just due to the fact that all these different bands were on that label, and it was sort of a fashionable label for a time. But I think that the scene, as far as Seattle and a number of other bands that weren't involved with Sub Pop doing so well, sort of took the whole thing out of the Sub Pop camp and just kind of made it this regional thing.
Right.
Which it is really, because it isn't just Seattle. A lot of the bands that are a big part of the scene, like Nirvana and Screaming Trees, and they're not even really from Seattle. You know, they're from small towns in the state of Washington or somewhere else, you know, entirely. So.
Okay. Now, why did you guys feel the timing was right to leave Sub Pop and join A&M for the Louder Than Love album?
Well, at that time, we were like the second release, the second EP that Sub Pop had put out. We were like, they had done a single and an EP with Green River, and they did a single and an EP with us, and our popularity grew really quickly, a lot quicker than their label was growing, or as far as distribution, or as far as their popularity. So it was the only move for us really to make.
But we didn't go right to A&M at that point.
Right.
We went to SST Records, made the album Ultra Mega OK on SST.
Now, one would assume that there is a lot of camaraderie between the bands in Seattle, because obviously you teamed up with the band we now know as Pearl Jam for Temple of the Dog, and also, Chris, you actually contributed vocals to Alice in Chains' new EP, Sap. So do the bands kind of work together a lot and influence each other?
Well, it's all sort of a managerial type of thing. You know, we all completely hate each other, and you know, all these things are just arranged by like the Seattle Kingpins and cigar chomping people that just usher us around in limousines, and we sort of perform on each other's records.
They get us together during picnics and take photos and release them around. See, they are friends.
Yeah. I don't know why they insist on this unity thing, and it's really getting tiring.
You can't see the chains and shackles on us while we're sitting there having soup and sandwiches with our best friends from Seattle.
Now, did you enjoy working with Eddie Vedder, Jeff Ament and Stone Gossard on the Temple of the Dog album? Did it kind of give you a chance to try a different creative approach, you know, to the Soundgarden format?
Well,
Chris?
I don't know. I do a lot of things that don't necessarily fit into like the regular Soundgarden format. And that was just like one of the things that I've done. As far as working with those guys as musicians, it was great. You know, that was the only real reason why we did it. It was just because we've been friends for a long time, and we had the opportunity, I guess, and which was just luck really to do it, and so we did it for that reason, and it was really fun. It's not, you know, it's not those kind of situations that'll come along very often, just because of the fact that bands are busy doing, you know, what they do and spending a lot of time at it, and being on different record labels and that kind of thing. It's a difficult thing to ever try and throw together. Usually when it happens, it's for like some sort of
We Are the World.
yeah,
or something.
exactly, some sort of charitable cause, or you know, just a bunch of washed up musicians getting together to try and like make some money to pay off their yacht or something. So it was good to do something like this that was real as opposed to that.
Absolutely, and of course you did it to pay tribute to your friend Andrew Wood, who died in
Yeah.
the Love Bone. Did you find that therapeutic and kind of getting over his loss?
Well, I suppose because we all had such a good time doing it, you know, that there must have been a certain amount of like catharsis in it. But there was a couple songs really that were attributed to Andy, and that started the idea. But once the ball got rolling, the whole thing was really just the collaboration and just you know, playing together as musicians. It wasn't like this writing a funeral piece or something.
Okay. Well, we're going to see the results of that collaboration because coming up now we've got the video from Temple of the Dog, and this is Hunger Strike.